Welcome back to my expanded divine panel of the Infinite Eight to divinely intervene as needed for my highest good, aka the highest good. I woke up this morning not feeling too great. I felt kind of ill-ish. In fact, I'm just told to put this thing on real quick. What do we want to start with? Last night or early this morning, I had a series of dreams. You know, when you wake up, you go back to sleep, okay, new dream. Sometimes it's a continuation, sometimes not. Sometimes they relate, but it's just often two different worlds. Anyway, the first dream was, I don't know how I got back to, here, let me see here. Energy cards first off. Recapping, this is the never mind control, ... And spoiler alert, they didn't get too far. They didn't get very far. With that in mind, being the energy, or like the title, the energy card on the left side is the mentor. Okay. It's an overview in the dark, looking at, like, with the wingspan that we have. Life has its teaching moments in its quiet, still, darkness. Okay. Galaxies are being formed here. Got the whole world in our hands, but instead it's a galaxy. We've upgraded, me and my divine collective. Now, is this more for me or for me and my divine collective? Me and my divine collective, okay? On the doing side, it is the bridge in reverse, which means that sometimes in formation of new galaxies, sometimes, that can look like a big kablooey. Not a big mistake, just like, burnt bridges, that's what we do, and not just it's explosive in that manner. So this morning I kind of like woke up and I'm like, it's just a continuation of grogginess, like starting to get ill. And then I realized after getting up and taking care of myself and like in a witchery manner, like very practical things, not like just self-care, mainly mainly focused on me, not like trying to mess with other people. And so that was it showed me the energy signatures of not only like I'm getting dreams that are just unwarranted influxes of energy, but also like I think people are trying to mess with my crown chakra, my dreamscapes, because my first dream was, I don't even want to call it a dream, but scene in slumbers was I went back to the establishment. I don't know why I went back to the establishment, but I know that I referenced like February as, a return to, the industry. And I think this is like a huge prefix, like, no, you're not going back. You're not going back. There's no need to go back to there. I don't care. Like my guides are determined on ensuring that my situation is absolutely remedied so that there is no going back, because one of the owners at the last establishment that I was at became like is still very fixated, on my energy or like the patternings of success. And so so anyway, for some reason I went back and they were charging people like retroactive from a certain date, like when you started working there. If you worked past a certain time that was allotted to you, they fined people. They they're like, see, look, you worked past a certain time, and so we have to fine you like $30. So collectively, this is how much you owe us. So whatever you make today, they took it, And there was like a line of girls. In fact, one of them, I think her name was, should I say it? Hold on. They said yes. She goes by Yasmin. I remember specifically seeing her there, like lined up, and then there were other girls too, but I specifically remember her. And I don't know why, but I think she does some like spell work for dummies, you know, that kind of energy. Like she's getting in with the wrong crowd, she's becoming that. It gives her like beauty or whatever. But you know, and so when you remember particular faces and they are very direct and potent, that means that they are trying to meddle with your stuff. Okay. Yeah, I borrowed red shoes from her. She offered, and I was like, oh, that's kind of strange or whatever. Anyway, because my shoes broke at this, you know, at a certain time. Anyway, so they were charging others. It wasn't just specific to me, but it's like these people will do anything to like get money from you, and create stupid fees. Like instead of like when you work up past a certain time at a normal job, you get paid overtime. They owe you. You don't owe them. And so like anyway, there's that, okay? And then there's a second one. There is something else. I don't remember. But so today I was supposed to meet up. You know, there were a couple of girls that were trying to purchase something off of me. And one of them was supposed to meet at the event yesterday. And she flaked out on me. But then the other, there's like a little bit of a bidding war that somebody was trying to start up. Like, I'll pay you $10 more for this. If you can meet, you know, whatever. And so there were just like some games toying around, and I could tell by their profile that they were new. So that was like a game in itself. Like somebody put them up to like they set like some dumb dancer, yeah, some dumb dancers out like on a mission to connect with me, to get like a kind of an invite, a welcoming to my residential address or whatever. And so there's occult ways in which to skirt around and get like welcomings, permission, etc., to like fuck around in your energy. And so, you know, that's what they tried to do. And so I gave them an off location address. And so the one that flaked out on me realized that like that was not like, it would involve so many more people that would have like, she wouldn't, the fuckery could not have been administered at that location yesterday. And so I said, whatever, I don't feel like babysitting this chick or whatever. So then I went back to this other girl and said, I'll offer you $10 more. And I said, okay. I don't feel like babysitting this other girl. This is before I knew that she was gonna like dump out anyway. So I said, I'll meet you like closer to you for, you know, that $10 more, or you can meet closer to me at like the 30 price. And so she said, I'll meet you. And I gave her the address, the location, name, and then I gave her the address right after that. So this morning she messaged me and she said, is this your home, or is this, you know, am I meeting you at your home? And I was like, you know, people who act like dumb fucks, you know, are they're just messing with your energy. You know what I mean? Like they had hoped that like this ploy would lead to your residence, you know, for that entry. And I'm like, don't, you know, like when people play dumb with you, it's like, I don't negotiate with terrorists, okay? So I gave her the address. It was pinpoint. I was supposed to meet her at 2:00. And it was like 1:59. I didn't babysit the messages. It's like, we already agreed on this. So I said, it's a park. And then 1 minute later, I said, it just parked. And didn't show that she saw her messages, nothing, nothing, nothing. In fact, in between this time, like up until she said, oh, you know, I couldn't meet up at this time. My brother yeah, I think my brother had just passed away, this and that, like all these like tragedies, you know. Plus, I'll offer you $10 more. And it's like, what is going on? And so I said, I just put it under the table. I was like, okay, you know, it's like, oh, that's terrible. But like, with that, when people throw certain shit in your face like that, you got to see the patterning. So it's like, normally your tendency would be like to say, oh, I'm sorry about that. But you don't know who, like, if they had karma where they were trying to fuck with you, and you know, and they're trying to call upon your sympathy so that it could alleviate some of their karma. That's how powerful I am. That's how powerful my collective is. So mind your words, mind your mechanism, like your automated responses when people try to pull on your sympathy, you know. So I was typing, and that's how I could manage a pause in between. Like, okay, so I said, oh, that's terrible, you know. Well, then I scooted over to the subject that was relevant. I can meet you up after, like, I don't want any trouble at this event, so I don't want any drama or anything, so let's just wait and see. Anyway, long story short, as if it's not long enough, let's slow down here for a second. She played dumb with me. I said I'll wait here for a few more minutes. She just messaged me like a few minutes ago after I archived the item. I was like, fuck this, you know. People are trying to get into my energy, so I am just going to keep the item. I'm gonna archive it. I don't need any more drama. I've already had 3 strikes. You're out. Like, fuck it. No. And so she messaged me after I didn't know I could receive messages after I archive an item. And she said, oh, I'm so sorry. I fell asleep with my son. It's like, oh, are you going to talk to me about Tiny Tim now? So anyway, using the Shadowscapes Tarot. I gotta find out. Okay, let's get the header cards first. Okay, these were just the energy cards right here. I'm still feeling a little weird. Oh, here. Would you like an apple? Yes, of course, Tina. So it's probably a good thing that I didn't smoke out. It would have put me at a negative financially. And I probably wouldn't be as alert. No, actually, that's not true. When I smoke out, I'm attuned to every single, like, you know, it might make me, like, I don't know. Like, I just know I'm very on point to, like, details of everything. I'm very immersed. That's what it is. Anyway, I told my son that, oh, I'm going to meet up this person. So, and I was like, it's $30. That way, all in all, I would break even from the event last night, or yesterday. And I was like, okay, saving grace, something, you know, it balances out financially, somewhat, you know. And what you fork out, like pentacle energy versus fork in. And I talk about balancing. And I don't lie to my son about the truth of, like, income versus expenses on that, because the people that you really care about, they should know that you shouldn't, like, fumble on the truth on that, because it's like, if they go for something and it's actually a harder reality than what you have relayed to them, it's like, isn't that much more discouraging, you know? So you kind of set expectations on what it's really like out there, you know. And then they just build their own resilience on that, you know, based on the truth. So, to each their own, but, you know, energy cards. No, we already did the energy cards. Header cards. Again. So I responded to her. I was like, never mind. I don't remember what. I said, never mind. I assume that you're not coming since I didn't reply to your last dumbass question. So, never mind. Control. People trying to ping on your energy. So remember this in text. I don't care how delightful or whatever it is. Know the context as a prerequisite. Like, what have you established thus far? Has this person exhibited anything questionable? Give time to it, you know? Because, like, during, like, full moons, that past 20-year relationship, she would, like, text me, like, at very particular times when I'm, like, in the zone of making stuff. Or, like, doing my, video stuff. She would come up, like, on my feed, like, oh, text, you know. And it's like, I'm trying to finish up something. I'm in the flow of, you know, I don't tell her these things because she's, like, in this delightful energy. And we're, like, but it was, like, bullshit. You know, it's just bullshit. And I just was in the flow of completing something. And there's, like, certain deadlines. So she's trying to, when people are tapped into your energy and you allow for it, you know, pay attention. All right, so header cards here. Never mind control. Spoiler alert, they did not get very far. Boop! 3, 2, 1. Cheese. What do we get here? The Hierophant recipient side. 7 of Wands, the doing side. Okay? See? The whole world is in your hands. You set the tone. That's it. Okay? Right side. The doing side. Okay, so set the tone, like, even on the recipient end, for sure. That's what it's just signifying, okay? On the right side, the doing side, manifestation side. What do you produce? What do you put out there? Sometimes it's burning bridges. Because sometimes you have to, because you have the upper hand. Well, like, we have the advantage in making those choices. It's like, this isn't gonna do. I thought I was around other victors, people who have experienced victory, who not just relished in the moment, but also appreciated what that meant. Like, you overcame something, you weren't victimized. So, so I thought I was amongst other victorious people. Okay, I feel so weird. Hold on real quick. Today, well, it got a little hot today, so in transit, so I had to take off this shirt. But this is basically what this is what I wore yesterday during setup. That's what we're doing today. Alrighty. There we go. Cover your head. This feels better. I am winging it. Do, 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 do. Not very secure, but that does it. Darling. Okay, so doing side. Okay, all right. So, what else? Hmm. Hmm. Another fell down on the doing side, but it fell horizontal, face down. So first off, Seven of Swords, the World card, Tower moment. Door slam, shut in the face. The follow through, like the kablooey. There's no backdraft. It's just like shut door. Kablooey. Something was like trying to steal. They're trying to steal. Trying to deceive. But things blow up on their face. And so we close the portal. On the doing side, you see, is Eight of Wands, communication. Yep. Like I said, we have the advantage. I do as I need to. And that's just as I please. So, this is, oh my gosh, this is crazy. This is going to be a very short read just because I'm not feeling so wonderful right now. I just wanted to, before I forgot my dream and the trespassing. All the more reason, do not load those fuckers in, okay? I promise you, you're going to do so much better. And you don't even have to give it much time. Like, the universes will show you. So, show us anyway. Okay. Oh my god, the star card. Look, it was like a... You saw how I put... Okay, so it's a star card. Excellent. Accentuated. Four of Swords, accentuated. This is a massive healer. You can heal yourself. We can heal ourselves. Look, the sun card right after that. Dude, like we could... Damn. The Devil card in reverse. And the Four of Cups in reverse. But this is accentuated in reversal. Then Justice, accentuated. King of Swords, in reversal. Massive healer. Massive healer without having to control anything really, like anything else. It's the right choice to make. So Justice is, it's just like behind bars. You know what the King of Swords in reversal is? Like, that is mind control. That's someone that uses telepathy or, you know, any kind of word play, diction, placements, timing, etc. They fuck around with that, okay? And so it's behind bars, okay? We have successfully assisted in the justice system pinpointing who that is, and not just like by their archive of events, their rap sheet, but their current standing. Like, once they fuck with us, just that draws the line. Because we have a greater purpose. A massive healer like this isn't just gifted to like mend one's own, but has the capability of doing that for like a huge expanse of people, okay? Of energies, not just people. I'm getting some, this also is relative to those that, like work in animal shelters or like adoption units, etc. like that, okay? Even all the more reason. They didn't get very far. Page of Cups. We are prompted to continue bringing that vibe. Continue it. Of love. Queen of Swords in reverse. You know, in Godfather, that song, Speak Softly, Love, blah, blah, blah. You know that song? You're saying, no. You're doing the flash mob type of thing with this kind of energy. We are. Very, demure. Very, like, yeah, very, speak softly, but like in bold words, you know, bold print. So this is being very harsh with your standing, like, you know, almost cutthroat in the truth. Like, if I have to be a bitch about it, so be it. I wasn't a bitch like, oh, see, that's why, you know, that's what happened to your brother. You know, like, I didn't even think that. It's being, like, not afraid to, you know, cut things off. Yeah. Two of Pentacles in reversal. There's something, right. There's also, like, bitches in the stand, like who the fuck does she think she is, you know, like, she's a goody two-shoes. Whatever. Their shoes are tied, things are out of balance anyway. Eight of Swords are stuck, you know. They're stuck looking in the stadium seating, nosebleed seats, you know. Can't even get in the door. They're like not even nosebleed seats. They weren't even able to enter. They're like across the block and they can't even enter because there's like a spiritual restraining order. And you know, like when there's like an aversion of when you're in very good high vibing energy, people who have an aversion to you, like that are like in really shit stained kind of energy, they can't come close to you. We're that protected. And I noticed that because I protect my booth, or I protect my space. And so I noticed from across the board, like I've done maybe 19, maybe 20, you know, pop-up thingies. And I was thinking last night, I commend people who do this, like flea markets, whatever stature. You don't call them all pop-ups or, you know, that's a bullshit way of calling them, you know. Excuse me, I don't care how fancy you are. You know what that's supposed to be called? Those are show-ups. People who show up, regardless of, like, this or that. They show up. Those are show-ups. Or some... Yeah, I was like, is it a showdown? No, it's not. It shouldn't be a battle. It is show up. Anyway, so I noticed that. Not just in show-ups, but also, yeah, like jobs too. I notice especially when I start to protect my space at these show-ups, there are people that will buy from other vendors that are very, like, you could tell when they come to your booth, they're like they're just like, they look like, you know, like with astigmatism almost. And it's not just females, they're like males, like usually they're like almost like Proud Boy type of energy, but like superior. Like, I'm not doing the racist thing here, but like the energy behind them is like you could see like they're in Ku Klux Klan attire, that kind of energy. It is that apparent when, you know, they just have a, you know, the courtesy smile kind of, but it's, you can tell how they interact with other people as well. So they're from this, that's what it is. So they're blocked, yeah, definitely blocked. It's out of my hands. Four of Pentacles in reverse. It's also out of their hands. There's a greater energy enforced. Top of the deck to assist. Three of Cups in reverse. So again, we're not for everybody, and neither everyone is for us. But those that matter to us are going to be brought forward. Okay, it's not always like party time. Sometimes it's private celebration. Ace of Cups. Again, this is a variation of Four of Cups right here. We've taken Spirit's Cup. Okay, your takeaways. One, the Hanged Man. So being objective. Okay, so you're still assessing things. Like, you're not like absolutely in on, you know, Tina's like party, which is totally fine. It's okay, man. You know, I must be assessing you too. Whatever. It's not even a big deal. But this is again being objective. This is a dominant energy here. It's is not what I first mentioned. I just did that as a disclosure kind of thing. Kind of save face. But this is you being remaining objective, okay? That is your word for the day. Objectivity clarifier. The Emperor, because you're bossing. You're bossing, let me tell you. Okay? My 3 takeaways. First one, the Fool card. The journey has begun. Okay. Unlike no other. Okay, my second takeaway is Ace of Wands in reverse. The fire is lit. You know, like they're just saying I'm lit. Hecate is saying, here's my wand. You know, this is a longer borrow than usual, okay? Because you need it. Okay. My third takeaway. Thank you, Hecate. Page of Wands. So Tina, you start it. You go start. You just go. You just go. Clarifier for the Fool card. King of Cups. Intuitively, like, getting it done. Oh, I should have gotten that. That's fine. My second takeaway, clarifier. 5 of Swords. The upper hand. Yeah. That's definitely. People are trying to start shit with you. Start wars with me. And it's like, okay. You want to throw down? Let's see what Hecate has got in mind. This is no longer a Mary Poppins bag. Like, she's funded me. Okay, 3. Okay, Page of Wands. Clarifier, the Moon card. Manifestation. Talk about Hecate for sure. She will throw down through me for sure. Okay, that's it for now. Thanks very much for all donations provided in and of light and love that reciprocate equally and therefore abundantly. But now that this reading is officially over, I call back all my power, energy, essence, gift, strength, properties, passions, from those that call upon, cast, generate, bring, magnify, multiply, or any variation thereof the aforementioned ill will, intent, thought, form, pattern, and or entity to pass through the white light of the Holy Spirit, for cleansing, for blessings, for reformatting, to love and light energy, and to be refortified in me, only me, answer free, no doubt, and no attachment, except for all. Bonus points included. Thanks so much. Upon closing the portals in this reading, I send all energies back to their appropriate locations outside of mine, with the appropriate karmas due, assisting with the sequence of rollout and light and love. I close the portals in this reading. Yeah.